While we have this black and white issue, I respect people of all backgrounds, even the Confederacy. And since I'm a poet, I've been like in scenes where I'm at the Daughters of the Confederate meeting, and I'm going to do some poetry for them or some type of performance. But I'm sitting back, and then they ask me, "Oh, are you a daughter?" And I had to think about it. I was like, "Oh, well, my people probably didn't. They were probably like, they didn't volunteer, they probably were forced, but I could be a daughter of the Confederate, But I couldn't hate that because that's their legacy. That's what they're taught. And it really taught me to respect it. It really gave me another perspective.
Well, you're just a better person. I had a lot of family in Germany during Hitler's Germany. And I'm not equating the Confederacy with Nazi Germany in case anyone watching this gets upset. But I don't feel any need really to see monuments to that around in Germany. I don't feel like I have to respect that background or that ideology in any way. I don't feel like we really need to have monuments to the Confederacy and make it anymore. So the first question is, how do you define racism?
I define racism as people who don't have justice or empowerment because of their color, and just being treated unfairly, not being on a level playing field in society, and just not being treated fairly just because of your race.
Well, I guess I would say there are different levels of it. There would be like institutional racism, which is when someone's not treated fairly, given the same shot because of their identified race or perceived race, like they're not taken as seriously in job interviews, or they're denied loans for housing. And then there's also sort of personal racism when someone stereotypes somebody or is unfair to somebody or is cruel to someone or makes assumptions about someone based on their race.
Right, and I agree, and it does blend sometimes because some of those people take their personal feelings and they're in those positions at the institutions and they're the decision makers, they're the policy makers,
right.
And that's what makes it really unfair.
Yeah. I know I've had some people say to me, well, racism has to be, like you have to be in a position of power over the other person to be racist. But I think that I think it's just in a one-on-one relationship with somebody, you can be racist to that person if you don't see them as a human being. You just see them as a representative of a particular group or color and make assumptions about them based on that. So I just think there's so many layers to it and levels to it. I don't know, like when just taking it apart, it's hard to just...
Well, you helped me to make one sentence to define it. Racism is a form of ignorance.
Form of ignorance. Yes, that's excellent. It's a form of ignorance. Yeah.
How do you define privilege?
So as a white person, I definitely know that I have privilege because of my whiteness. And there have been times when I have used that privilege in ways that I think are good, and I've also benefited from it in ways that I think are not good. Like, for example, I think I would feel more comfortable standing up to someone who was racist because I'm a white woman, and I feel like a white racist man is less likely to attack me or like be physically abusive to me or whatever because I'm a woman or because I'm white. Like I just feel like it gives me like a little shield, like a little bit invisible armor that could enable me to do good because I'm not fearing for my safety in the way that I would if I were a woman of color. But I know that I have benefited from it as well in ways that aren't good. I remember, for example, and I didn't take advantage of this, but I could have if I'd wanted to. I remember years ago looking at an apartment, and this was in Mississippi, and I just moved there, and the man said, "Oh, you look like such a nice woman. You know, I never rent to," and then he used the N-word. So it was like he was assuming that I would want to use my privilege in that way, and I would not want to. So like I didn't rent that house from him, but I know it has helped me get out of tickets when I'm stopped by the police, or when I walk into a classroom, professors have taken me seriously right away because of that privilege. And so those are ways in which it has worked in my benefit that I don't like, that I feel like are unfair and are privileges that I don't deserve, that I wish I didn't have, I guess is what I would say.
Well, if I had privilege like that, I wouldn't wish I didn't have it. I would probably just use it to empower other people, because when you think about it, when I think about privilege, I think about like things that happen in a society with the U.S. government, how you can give like a lot of white people acres of land. I mean, and we don't have to wonder how people have accessed things and had a legacy to pass on. So I think if they wanted to keep that safe, they try to empower other people, but that's not the mindset. There are a lot of people, and especially black people, who feel like they've arrived. I've been to college. I've arrived. I live in North Macon. Well, what are you going to do? But you go to church in the hood. Right. Where does the religion and the church and all of it, where does it come in as far as like empowering your people? If you've arrived, shouldn't you reach back? Or did you solve the problem by arriving? Some people, and then that's not the only way to arrive. I feel as though I have a privilege. I know I have some privileges, and it's probably because I'm so outspoken, and I just demand my privilege. I just demand. I do things in a way to where it's earned, and it wasn't just given to me. And I use whatever privilege I have to empower others, because I want to see everybody uplifted.
So I really like them. I think that's I like what you said a lot.
So I guess while we're here, we'll work on helping people use their privilege. Here you go.
What would make Macon a better place to live? I'm glad you answered that one first.
Macon is cool. Macon is my hometown. What would make Macon better if it was not so black and white? We need to be a little more blended. We were having a conversation in the lobby earlier how can school books, all the public art, everything that's resemble white people, it's more than Martin Luther King and Malcolm X. Why is that in the textbook? Why can't the curriculums be adjusted and amended so that if we were to be able to get these young black children to know that we have contributed to society on a local to a global level, they'd be motivated to learn more, and not just them, but other races would respect the black race a little bit more when they know that we've done tremendous things. You can't just focus on Albert Einsteins of the world. You can't just focus on the Jesus and the Santa Claus and all the things looking great, looking white. So black and white would help Macon, because it's just too divided in that way. And it is coming together. I'm not just going to, beat it down. We're getting better, but it still has ways to go. And, as far as who the government caters to, who's put on the level playing field to share resources that are here, those kind of things.
I don't know if I have anything intelligent to add to that, but I agree on the split. I think Macon is, first of all, I love Macon. I think it's a great, great city. I love living here. Superficially, I would like more restaurants and better movies. But seriously, I think Macon is still so divided between black and white. Like I just wish there were more. The school system is my major issue. I wish the school system were more integrated. It seems like it's been resegregating in the last 10 years. And so I see actually the school system going backwards, not forwards. I would be happy to pay more taxes to feel like there was a better school system for everyone. And I would like to see black and white Macon residents, and really to think beyond black and white, and to get to Latino people in Macon and Asian people in Macon. I would just love to see more togetherness, because it seems like unless you're at the Cherry Blossom Festival or in one of these major events, like everything's so segregated. There's that. And when I moved downtown, people really said to me, "Are you sure you want to live downtown? It's kind of scary down there." And nobody said specifically more African Americans live there, but you don't need to say that. It's just obvious that that's what people meant. And so I think if we get kids together working on art projects, like the kinds of things you're doing, working on arts projects, playing together, having conversations together, that would be such a good step, because I feel like in a way my generation has failed already. I feel like we had our chance to make the world significantly better, and we didn't.
And not so much that your generation failed, it's just time to pass the torch, you know?
Yeah.
And, that's the thing. Megan, too, when you said something about, more blacks being down, it's 60% or more blacks just in the whole city.
Right.
And I don't know if it kind of decreased because of the city and the county coming together, but when you have over half of the population, it shows you that, you have more people, but people aren't power and control and money.